All right, hello everybody. We are going to multiply and divide some fractions now. There are two more pages, one that has just dividing fractions, and then the other page that has just multiplying fractions. So I will not have separate videos for those. Instead, I'm going to give you a refresher right now over both multiplying and dividing with fractions. So I'm going to give you steps for both, and I want you to make sure you write this stuff down, that way whenever you go to the other pages, multiplying and dividing with fractions, you have those to look back to, okay? Or you can always go back to this video. All right, so let's first talk about multiplying fractions. All right, so I'm gonna remind you that when we multiply, I'm just going to abbreviate this, okay? Multiply fractions, that we just go straight across. So we're going to start by multiplying numerators. Then we're going to multiply the denominators. And then once we get our answer, we are going to simplify if possible. All right, and so we're going to take a look at an example together first. Here I have 1/3 times 1/5. So I'm just going to multiply straight across, okay? I'm multiplying numerators. 1 times 1 is 1. And 3 times 5, multiplying straight across, multiplying denominators now, is 15. And so my answer is 1/15. I cannot simplify that. That fraction is as low as it can go. All right, so I'm done with that. Over here, I want to remind you of means multiply. All right, so 2/5 of 1/4 is just another way to say 2/5 times 1/4. All right, so I'm going to follow these steps by multiplying straight across. 2 times, we can just put a little times here if you want. 2 times 1 is 2. 5 times 4 is 20, right? I multiplied numerators to get 2, multiplied denominators to get 20, and then I'm going to simplify if possible. Well, right away I can see that 2 and 20 are both even. So they're both divisible by 2. So I can do 2 divided by 2 to get 1. And 20 divided by 2, I'll put these here too just in case, to get 10. And so my answer is 1/10, and that's as low as it's going to go. All right, so multiplying with fractions is probably the easiest and quickest one. All right, now let's talk about dividing with fractions. So I'm going to move on to this one right here. The way that we make dividing with fractions easy is by, I'm going to make notes here, dividing fractions, in which case we, let me move this over just a bit, multiply by the reciprocal. And remember, we said the reciprocal is kind of just like a fancy word for the opposite. And some of you kind of remembered the steps with the little saying, keep, change, flip. Okay, so let's take a look at that. By multiplying by the reciprocal, what we mean is we are going to keep the first number. That's our keep. We are going to change the division to multiplication. All right, so we have our keep, we have our change. And then lastly, we are going to flip the second number. Okay, or in other words, the flipping the second number is going to be the reciprocal. Okay, so whichever way you like to remember it, multiplying by the reciprocal, or if you have that little method in your head, keep, change, flip, then that's how you divide by fractions. Okay, so let's take a look at this one together. We are going to keep the first number, 5. We are going to change the division to multiplication. And then we are going to flip or multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, the second number. So the 3 is actually going to become the numerator, right? That's going to go on top. And then the 1 is going to be the denominator. So that goes on the bottom. And of course, when we have a number over 1, we know that this is just the whole number 3, okay? So the opposite of 1/3, or the reciprocal, is just 3. All right, so I follow my steps. Now I can just multiply this. 5 times 3, 15. And I'm done. Okay, so I want you guys to complete the rest of this page on your own. Remember, when you get down here, just because this whole number is second doesn't mean that's the one you leave, okay? You're gonna keep the first number, change to multiplication, and then flip the second number. All right, finish this page and then use this information to do the other pages: dividing fractions, multiplying fractions, and these two are kind of like those sprints, right? So you do it one time, time yourself, and then do it a second time, time yourself, and see if you did it faster the second time. All right, good luck, everybody.